I hit 100,000 followers on every social media platform. I'm going to share everything I've learned through every single social media platform, how I would rank them from easiest to hardest, and proving that social media is not luck. And I'm going to go over what I did on every single platform to hit this milestone. But for the people who don't know me, I've been on the internet for 10 years now. And 5 years ago, I got my first 100K plaque. I'm 20 now and I've pretty much lived more than half of my life on social media. It was an everyday grind, understanding the algorithm, learning more. I knew I wanted a career in this, which means I had to take it seriously. And although YouTube is my favorite platform, I've branched out on every single social media platform. And I've hit 100,000 on YouTube 8 times, TikTok 5 times, Snapchat I'm approaching 500,000 followers, even my Twitter had 110K before it got suspended, rest in peace. On Instagram, I haven't hit 100K yet. I'm at 89K. I'm sorry, but I still wanted to make the video. Even platforms like with my music on Spotify, but I'm not going to talk about music stuff in this video. But let's go over what I think is the easiest platform right now. The easiest platform I believe is Snapchat. At this time I'm making this video, Snapchat is the platform that you want to be on. I know a lot of people think that's going to be silly. It doesn't make any sense. What do you mean 100,000 on Snapchat? Let me inform you. You can become a brand creator on Snapchat through posting on Spotlight. If you don't know what Spotlight is, it's pretty much a short form alternative to TikTok and Instagram Reels. Hardly anyone is on that platform right now, which means you should be taking advantage of it. I tell my guys in my private group the same thing. If you are not on Snapchat, you need to get on Snapchat ASAP while the competition is extremely low. So the first thing that I did was I looked at Snapchat. I noticed the feed and how it was like a really cringe version of TikTok. So what I did was I took one of my relatable TikTok accounts, a really open, a really broad niche that I knew that worked everywhere else. And I just simply re-uploaded those videos on TikTok on the Snapchat Spotlight. It was literally hardly any work at all. And if in my first 20 days, I reached 100,000 followers. Also on Snapchat, I ran some of the biggest celebrity news shows. If you don't know what shows are, it's pretty much that like short form video platform on Snapchat on the Discover feed, where you'll see stories and all that other stuff. I was running one of the biggest shows on the platform at the time. And then I started running multiple. So if you've even heard of Snapchat shows or if you ever watched them, you probably watched one of mine. And now it's just millions of subscribers. A lot of people really want to get into Snapchat shows because they make really good money, but I'm not going to talk too much about the barrier of entry because people aren't here to hear about Snapchat. It's just a platform that, you know, I've had a lot of success on. The second easiest platform I can talk about is YouTube Shorts. Now what you'll notice is the easiest platforms right now are the ones that are doing short form content. If you're over the age of 16, you should know that there was a internet and a YouTube before all of these short form videos started appearing everywhere. TikTok has completely changed the internet and shaped the internet for maybe the worst, but for brands and for creators, it's been amazing. It's now easier to grow in social media than ever and to create a brand off of yourself. So how would you hit 100,000 with YouTube Shorts? It's really easy. The same thing with Snapchat. It all funnels down through TikTok, except your video has to be under a minute long. So what I did once again was I took videos and I took trends that were on TikTok and videos on myself from there, and I simply just put them onto my Shorts channel. And because social media isn't luck and I had good videos already, they did well and I hit 100,000 in 3 months. And it was only 3 months because I was hardly trying. It was really easy. Now, if you're trying to replicate that model today, the best thing that I can tell you is to stay within your niche. In my private group, I tell everyone all the secrets to, you know, creating a successful channel. And I split that up into literally like long modules. So I'm not going to repeat all of that here. But understanding how to optimize social media is 100% the key, because social media is not luck. People are not just going viral by luck every single time. Even if it seems like it's a brand new person or it seems super authentic, more than likely they understand the sciences behind the algorithm. Guys, once you figure out the algorithm, it will reward you every single time. You can hit 100,000 on any platform. Now we're going to go to the third easiest, and it's no surprise, it's TikTok. TikTok is a platform that I don't think will be around forever. And TikTok is becoming a lot harder to hit 100,000 on than it was, you know, years ago. Because TikTok right now is the foundation for short form content. Short form content is typically made on TikTok and then it's outsourced somewhere else. And what's interesting is the outsourced content usually does better than the original content that's on TikTok right now. That's because TikTok has the most competition, but best believe it is still very much worth it. I believe TikTok's algorithm is the most tedious. If you want to succeed on TikTok, you're going to have to play by the rules, which means you should be following those posting times. You have to keep your account within the same niche. You have to use hashtags. TikTok is rewarding for the people who play by the rules, and you have to understand how to make good content. I see some things that are on other platforms that are just complete brain rot. I don't see that as much as on TikTok. I'll talk about one of the accounts that I made. At this time, I knew that I already mastered TikTok. My strategy was, if I didn't have 10K in the week, I would just delete the account and restart. And I was running accounts in all different types of niches. But I really wanted to get back into streaming, which means I knew I needed to make a TikTok account, which I can funnel into my Twitch. So the first thing I did was I looked up the hashtags and I searched through all the videos of people who were making videos like me so I could understand what they did right to make their videos blow up. With social media, you have to hyperfixate on everything. You need to understand why a video did better than the last video. And a lot of people just can't pick up on these concepts unless, you know, with just a bunch of experience, which is why I enrolled into a course. It was literally like $100, bro. That was way too much. And I had a bunch of friends help me understand how to read the algorithm and understand why certain videos got views and how I could use that for myself. So I looked at all of the streamer clips and I said, hey, I'm gonna make one myself. And I also know one thing about TikTok that is like no other platform. Your first 5 videos on TikTok get boosted more than any of your videos, which means your first video has to be your best video. Flawless. I spent about a week studying until I made my first video. And within just 2 days, that video was at 4 million views. And now it's sitting at 15.7 million views. And it was just a fake streaming clip. This was on my very first video on a brand new account. And my mission was complete. I funneled that video back into my Twitch. I funneled that video back into my YouTube, and everything was going great. That's not a luck story. That's a story of someone who knows what they're doing. But enough about TikTok. Let's get into Instagram, the next easiest platform. And it's because of the same thing yet again. Don't worry, this is our last short form platform. Instagram is its own platform, and we know what type of platform Instagram is if you've used Instagram Reels. Instagram Reels are going to be your key to growing your account. Before, it was literally making meme pages or just pages in certain niches, but Instagram Reels is going to be where your bang is right now because they are super easy to blow up, especially with the way that the Instagram comments look nowadays. They are something else. Instagram has a lot more lax rules as well. I don't want to say explicit, but controversial content. If you're a creator on TikTok, you know that you get violations all the time. Your account could be banned. And as long as you're making good videos on Instagram and you're giving people a reason to engage, then you're doing everything fine and you will succeed on Instagram. I probably should have ranked Instagram probably easier than TikTok now that I think about it. But now we're going to go into the elite platforms, and that's going to leave us to our golden platform, YouTube. You are finally away from short form content. YouTube, I feel like, is a true platform. People interact and engage with a YouTuber more than any other platform. It's the reason why still being a YouTuber is the strongest title that you can hold versus them being a TikToker or Instagram Reel or a Snapchatter, because they have stronger fan bases. Someone in my group made this analogy and it literally has never left my head. If people are only used to seeing you for less than 15-second spans, their value as a fan or viewer isn't the same as people who watch a YouTube video and can watch you for 10-15 minutes. Therefore, YouTubers have a much stronger audience, and it makes sense. But YouTube has a lot more science that goes behind it into the algorithm, which I can make so many videos talking on YouTube and just so many parts because of how great of a platform it is. If you're blowing up on YouTube, it is 100% not luck at all. And going into my personal experience, I grew my first main channel off of live streaming, which was something that was really popular back in like 2020. But I've also had other accounts in completely separate niches that are faceless that I've grown through, you know, making Minecraft content. I have a team channel right now that's at 800,000 subscribers that we grew with shorts that we're moving into long form. There's a lot of different strategies to grow on YouTube, which is why I think that it's definitely a great platform to be on. You can do shorts, you can do long forms, you can do community tabs. You know those little community tabs that people have on their channel? I was getting over 50,000 likes and like 1 million impressions just on my community tabs, and I was growing one of my channels off of that alone. I've completely maximized every way there is to grow on YouTube, so just know how to take advantage of it. Now, the next platform, we're going to talk about Twitch. Okay, I'm just going to be honest again. I don't have 100K on Twitch. I only have like 12K, and I don't even stream anymore. And I'm just going to keep this quick and short because streaming is one of those platforms that is extremely difficult because you have to get it from somewhere else. You have to direct people to your stream, which is why I made my TikTok to help out my streams. You can stream for 15 hours a day, and you getting picked up by the algorithm naturally obviously will happen a bit, but it's extremely unproductive. You can live stream for 15 hours a day for like 5 months straight, and you cannot guarantee results on Twitch or any streaming platform like Kick, Mixer, YouTube Live. Like, I just wouldn't recommend doing it unless you're going to a short form platform to go into the live streaming. Now, the hardest platform that I have grown on is actually Twitter, or X. As you know, Twitter doesn't have an algorithm like most platforms. So everything I've said about those other platforms that carry over does not apply to Twitter. Twitter, you're gonna need an inside connect of people that are already large. You're gonna have to get some promotions to grow on Twitter and to be a part of that Twitter elite. Unfortunately, my account is now banned, but I can show you one of my other Twitter accounts that had some pretty funny memes. Now, how I grew my Twitter account is actually super interesting. I got people with like, you know, millions of followers on Twitter to just like my tweets, and then once they like my tweets, it appears on their followers page. And if it was in the same niche, guess what? You're growing your account. And so we'd be in these really large group chats of all of these accounts of millions upon millions, hundreds of thousands, all this stuff, and we would just literally funnel into each other by liking each other's tweets, and then Twitter's algorithm will pick it up. But like I said, there's a little bit of a barrier to entry of obviously who you know. So that's it. That's every platform that I have been on, and I hope this gave you guys some insight and motivation in knowing that if you're trying to pursue social media, go for it, but know what you're doing. There's so many rules, there's so many tips that I can give you, which is what I do on this channel. So make sure to subscribe. And if you are interested in any sort of mentorship or, you know, joining a group, check out the description at the very top and check the Instagram that I have in there. DM me on there and we can see what we can work out. Now is the time to take advantage of social media.
All right, so I'm currently at my dashboard on smmshiba.com. And do not get confused by the website names. SMM Shiba and SMM Dodge are actually the same website. So all you have to do once you've created yourself an account here is to go on list, click on this category icon, select, and here you want to select something, basically any option that says from with video. So I'm going to choose this one right here, and this should be already fine. 2014, 2017, yeah. Now I'm going to click on buy, confirm, and now you can go onto your product orders and you will see this is pending. All right, the order is now completed. This didn't even take 2 minutes. What you want to do now is you want to copy that ID, and we want to be organized, right? Especially if we have multiple channels, you will not find them again. So make sure to save it somewhere.